The culture is actually damn good.
Enough fire in your gut?
Are you kidding me?
The culture in our building is outstanding.
I'm
calling both games.
This chapter of Sportsball is brought to you by DraftKings. Football trudges along, and the honeymoon of the start of the year is long gone. We need lifelines, and DraftKings Sportsbook has a few that could save us. All new customers need to do is bet just $5 on any game and receive $200 in bonus bets instantly. However, that's not all. There's another deal out there for everyone, especially us depraved souls. We desire more action. And why not get it with a no-sweat same-game parlay? You can not only potentially score big by betting on the same game, but if it fails, you still get a bonus bet. It's honestly a win-win situation. As always, nearly anything is game on DraftKings Sportsbook, with any sports situation and stat line you can think of ripe for the taking. And don't forget about their daily fantasy contests in case DraftKings isn't available in your state. So here's the plan. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and with the promo code UTREE, you can take advantage of these tantalizing offers. And that's only with DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL. In case you do partake, always remember to gamble responsibly. Will Levis gets another moment in the sun. This time on the road in the house that endless bullshit built. Matt Canada's moving down to the sidelines for this game, which apparently means the offense will execute a near-perfect opening drive. The fuck has this been all year? Hiding down in Cancun? Sadly, there can be no consistency, since Pickett keeps overthrowing receivers and the defense keeps taking sloppy penalties to help the Titans down the field. It's about as unsightly as you'd expect from a football game involving Pittsburgh. Did you want something watchable? You're the real fool here. Levis looked decent, and there could be something here, but does he know who he's facing? Tomlin's got a meaningless streak to maintain. Don't ask questions as how the Titans offense just goes flat in the second half. Just embrace the bullshit of Steeler football. You'll end up unconscious as the defense clamps down and suddenly wake up with a record over 500. Kenny will look like shit for 80% of the game, yet somehow turn into John Elway on the final drive. He's done this 7 times in his young career so far. Even if the defense keeps giving the Titans chances, they don't have the power to push through. No, we don't understand the Steelers either. I've honestly learned to stop thinking. It works out better in the long term. Hallo, willkommen auf Süddeutschland. Frankfurt ist ein Land der Offenbarungen. Die meisten davon wussten wir bereits, aber sie müssen noch einmal gesagt werden. Die Chiefs werden von einem zurückhaltenden, hervorragenden Verteidigungs- und Siegen gezerrt. Und die Dolphins finden keinen Weg, sie zu besiegen Qualitätsgegner. Die erste Halbzeit war sie einfach der Hammer. Es war nicht möglich, ein Drittel nach Guten zu verwandeln. Und die einzige Vorkraft bestand darin, ihrem Gegner eine heiße Tasche zu verschaffen. Am Ende der ersten Halbzeit stand es 21-0. Klingt nach einem Reifenschaden, oder? Leider sind die Chiefs recht großzügig und mochten ein Flickspiel schenken. Beleidigen stagniert. Entscheider Ballverluste. Und Chris Jones wird zum fucking Idiot. Bei einem Drittel nach unten. Wir befinden uns jetzt in einem Punktsatzspiel. Allerdings kommen die Dolphins einfach nicht über den Berg hinweg. Ihre Beleidigungen gehen in Stocken, obwohl Kansas City unter Matt Nagy leidet. Miami, du hattest die Schuss. Alle Ersagen über dich zu binden. Aber es endet wie das letzte Stück. Verpfuscht. Kansas City entkommt in letzten Minuten. Zumindest ist ein Sieg für sie. Hässlich, aber trotzdem. The quarterback shuffle continues throughout the NFL. In Cleveland, Deshaun Watson's shoulder's been massaged enough to be ready to play. For Arizona, Dobby the House Elf got moved to a different location and Kyler's not ready yet. We must suffer through Clayton Tune's debut. Like his namesake, he played like he was a second-tier antagonist in Math Rabbit. Against one of the best defenses in football? Nope. Syntax error, team not found. 58 yards of offense is generous enough if we're being honest. The score may have been ugly, but the game was even uglier than that. Cleveland had more penalty yards than the Cardinals had offense. Now this is the kind of tanking that gets a team another quarterback to ruin in the offseason. Browns, you can find the win in the pool of your opponent's blood. Deshaun looks relatively passable as well, so there's that. And again, it is Arizona. Perhaps I gave the Rams too much credit a few weeks ago. Matthew Stafford's thumb injury is going to keep him out. That means you're fucked. When Brett Rippon's the insurance policy, there is no hope of salvation. The Rams are only to be damned. apparently they never told Green Bay that they were allowed to have some hope on offense as well. It was a comedy of errors full of slapstick shitty football. The Packers have so many chances to put this team away, yet keep running themselves into a brick wall. And then fumbling the pigskin. Repeatedly. LA can't be one-upped in shittiness, though. They'll miss a field goal. They'll turn the ball over on downs. They'll throw an awful interception. You'll be gifted the win and like it, Green Bay. Their offense finally managed to wake up in the fourth quarter. But let us never forget how awful both teams look. I'm coming for you next week, Crossy. You will wave the towel. I've been quite harsh on Baltimore this year, but it's for good reason. Because at their peak, they can be a machine that rolls past legitimate opponents. The Seahawks have their warts, but they were made to look like a bunch of ill-prepared, untalented scrubs. Pure efficiency and excellence by the Ravens in every single facet of play. A running game humming like a bird. Almost 300 yards of rushing, including almost 140 of them by Keaton Mitchell. 500 yards of offense total. Their defense? Impenetrable. Seattle could do absolutely nothing. And it showed on more than just the scoreboard. It might be the Ravens' most convincing win on the season, eating their opponent alive for 60 consecutive minutes. You also got a fruit basket in the mail. San Francisco thanks you for the destruction of their rival. It gets them the NFC West Division lead back for now. Even as the Saints should be applauded on one side of the ball, I still find myself livid at them for reasons that have been stated repeatedly. Tyson Bagent was once again at the helm for the Bears. Despite some early magic, too many elements undo them in the art of winning. Their defense is all but a turnstile that lacks cohesion and talent, even with managing to extend Montez Sweat long term. Their offense, while showing flashes, is unable to truly turn the tide. Whenever they have a chance to take advantage, flashbacks to the horrible doink. A game of keep away, mostly from the Bears' offense becoming pastry chefs competing with Café du Monde. No need to win, just force a few passes when it's obvious to the naked eye they're blanketed. Just a sheer kick in the balls. But that's to be expected of Chicago. New Orleans underwhelmed on offense yet again. You're telling me you had the advantage of 5 defensive takeaways and the penalty advantage of 8-1 and you could only win by 1 score? What the actual fuck is wrong with you? This is supposed to be the team I need to take seriously? Great, they're leading the NFC South again. It's not a division, it's a farce. Prove me wrong, Saints. You've let me down repeatedly before. New England, you can beg for mercy all you want, but it will fall on deaf ears. You had about 20 years of relevance. It's time to go back to the hell whence you came. Even against literal mediocrity in Washington, they'll fall behind early with little hope of getting past such a menace. The fortunate thing is that it is the Cardinals. Their offense will stagnate after such a run, giving New England 2 straight touchdowns. Sam Howell does his best Baker Mayfield impression to close out the second half, but near the goal line, he becomes Sham Howell. Don't forget about being gifted 3 points because, God forbid, someone touch the quarterback these days. You'd think the Patriots would capitalize on such a flawed opponent and rip a win away from them, but there's just nothing. The battered defense can't stop a dime to Jahan Dotson, and the offense just goes flat. Short drives that do next to nothing, allowing Washington to retake the lead by 3 where the agony only continues. The opportunities are there to push forward, but they're not taken. But there's still hope. The commies lure you in with promises. Tie the game, New England. Let Little Mac capture the magic of Brady to get into field goal range. Go ahead. It's all yours.
He likes what they've been doing. 2nd down and 8. Jones over the middle. Broken up and picked off.
So much for that Brady magic rubbing off. That dynasty may have been E.T., but this iteration is simply Mac and me. Only without it being a shameless advertisement. Minnesota is in hell. And not the standard hell, but a special one created by a vengeful god. Losing Kirk Cousins for the year has put them in a tight spot. Getting the nod today is Jaron Hall, a 5th-round rookie who actually put together a promising opening drive. That's all we'll see of him. He got knocked out of the game with a concussion. Well, Josh, you've only been here for 5 days. Enjoy being thrust into the fire immediately. The sack you take for a safety is complimentary. Don't expect backup. The emergency QB is also injured. Under these circumstances, it should mean a painful loss. But you don't know Atlanta and you don't know Arthur Smith. You may have finally used logic into starting Taylor Heineke today, but there are other ways to evade jurisprudence. Like using Jonnu Smith on a jet sweep at the goal line. They do not get into the end zone. That is the Falcons' offense. Having all of these weapons to use on your opponent only to play yourself with a rusty butter knife. Only they missed like Atlanta's defense did against Minnesota's attack. Without their first two quarterbacks and two of their better wideouts. Josh Dobbs just got in, yet looked like a seasoned pro to bring the game back. Even then, it becomes a stalemate for a bit. And Atlanta is starting to pull away from a cursed Vikings franchise due to reasons of Jonnu Smith? But if there's anything the Falcons are good for this year, it's getting in their own damn way. Give the ball to Bijan, we said. He barely gets the rock as it is. With this fumble, he probably won't see action for weeks. Dobby punishes those that doubt him to tie the game up at 21. Next drive, Atlanta continues the choke with an awful pass by Heineke.
Why do you keep doing this to me, Falcons?
The agony must continue, though. Minnesota's forced to kick a field goal. Things are quiet until Taylor Heineke unleashes what he's known for. His 10,000 dogs willing the football down the field. Not much in talent, but endless moxie. Thanks to his might, Atlanta takes the lead. But Josh Dobbs is a cerebral being. He's not just comfortable in adversity, he's grown up in it. 5 different franchises have had him on roster in the past year. And Dobby's adapted well to all of them. This, though, might be the peak.
3rd and 4. Time. Catch! Brandon Powell! Touchdown Vikings! And they have the lead!
Never say never, kids. Minnesota went from dead to rights back to jump-starting a potential push. 4 wins in a row for the Vikings, saving their season. They came against a team that repeatedly puts the idiot and idiot savant. Arthur Smith, I have a new formation for you to run. It's called the lolcow. I think it'll fit you guys nicely. I hate this team. I really do. Sometimes when you get 2 mid-tier franchises that engage in warfare, you get a match for the ages. Call it a combination of excellent play and exposing the flaws of each team, but when the Bucs and Texans dueled in Houston, it was a special event. Both squads flashing the talent that either brings hope to the future or harkens to championships past. Baker Mayfield's revenge tour will continue on with haste as he dices up his opposition. But his rival will more than rise to the occasion. C.J. Stroud is destroying worlds, making the Bucs secondary look terrible with dimes aplenty. Deep balls to Noah Brown and Tank Dell? Absolutely effortless. Potentially transcendent talent that makes a team certainly forget about previous quarterbacks. The sky fight is on. A showcase of underdogs strutting their stuff in front of an eager crowd. Touchdowns shared in the fight as it's all tied up at 30. Houston pushes down the field in response again, but they're too far from the goal line to counter. It's time for a field goal. Only issue is that Houston's without a kicker. Miami Fairbairn's out for the game and they're down to emergency options. But out of this adversity comes greatness. You've heard of fat guy touchdown. Now introduce yourself to running back field goal. Dare Ogunbowale's doing yeoman's work and then some. A true legend. The defense has finally managed to stop the tide, albeit temporarily. Tampa Bay has ambitions all their own. They don't just want to tie, they want to win. Baker's doing all he can to make it happen, saving the day repeatedly with great throws to receivers. The 1 fumbles in the red zone, which the Bucs fortunately recover. The play stood as called when reviewed, and Todd Bowles decided to play with fire, using one of his timeouts instead of running the clock down 10 seconds. The Peter principle in action, and it might mean nothing in the end.
Houston up by 3. Shotgun for Mayfield. End zone! Cade Otton! Touchdown! Buccaneers go in front!
Baker wants blood, and with limited time, it's all but sealed. There's only one problem. C.J. Stroud.
6 defensive backs in there for the Buccaneers. Stroud looking. Deep ball! Hold in! Takedown!
This guy's a fucking machine. That coverage or not, Stroud's going to will them single-handedly.
Stroud to the end zone! Touchdown! Takedown!
C.J. Stroud take a bow. This is the kind of game that puts a player into the elite echelon. Houston, you have your quarterback. He set the rookie record for passing yards in a game and he set it in style, usurping a win from a team that had it locked down. Tampa Bay, no offense, but a team that had a running back field goal should automatically win. Don't feel too bad there. To think Lovie Smith fucking up the tank of tanks was seen as a detriment. May have been their greatest blessing. Josh McDaniels' era in Raider Nation is textbook incompetence. The fact that he and Dave Ziegler will be getting $85 million for being shit is an insult to everyone. And Instead, an actually likable person in former Giant Antonio Pierce. He wants to feel his players as they feel him. Good news for Las Vegas, it worked. A nice, relaxing change of pace from their ordinary shit show status. Which goes to show that Josh McLarsony was the main problem from the beginning. No, we will talk about the Patriots, you douche canoe. It might also have to do with shelving Jimmy Jesus for Aiden O'Connell. Who knew that not fucking the ball left and right would lead to a win? That and playing a team that's even more of a shit show than them and the Giants. Good lord, it's bad. A complete disaster on both sides of the ball at this rate. Danny Derps came back as an upgrade over being unable to attempt a forward pass. It lasted all of a quarter. The dream dies with a torn ACL. Dread it, run from it. Tommy DeVito must return under center. That's all you need to know. We're gonna shoot him in the face so his mother can't have an open coffin at his funeral. Welcome to the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, G-Men. Not him, there's always Drake May. Or Michael Penix. Or J.J. McCarthy. One of the worst-kept secrets in football was that Frank Reich really wanted C.J. Stroud as his quarterback. Owner David Tepper allegedly meddled in team affairs and forced them to draft Bryce Young instead. The real secret is that while Stroud has done amazingly in Houston, he probably would have struggled in this shit pile as well. Young's stubborn first-time naked run of Dark Souls will continue on, despite being stuck on the Asylum Demon. Bryce, like many rookie QBs, is trying to do way too much and overthinking everything. He's forcing throws instead of seeing the field. Indianapolis merely had to punish easy mistakes for maximum damage. Bryce threw 3 touchdowns on the day. What incredible chemistry he had with Kenny Moore. Only problem is Kenny isn't on the Panthers. Colts offense didn't even have to do all that much. Bryce was generating production for them. All but a free victory in their book. And they'll take it. I'm under the belief that it's more on the Panthers shit show than Young, but right now, not looking too good. Same goes for that first you gave the Bears for him. Good luck on Thursday. A classic battle for NFC East supremacy. Perhaps the NFC in general. With a loud, annoying fan base or the loud, annoying fan base win. Either way, we at least get a nice show with some dazzle and pizzazz. A true heavyweight bout with both fighters giving everything they have to win the day. Rivalry games are always special contests. Between Cowboys and Eagles, it's only amplified. Points being scored as defenses seem unable to stop either attack. Except on limited occasions. However, at half the tide turns. Philly engages in some home cooking. Jalen hurling rainbows and the defense holding up. The Eagles soar once again with another fine offensive drive. And they're up by 11 against what they feel is inferior prey. Dallas doesn't see it that way though, they have firepower as well. Yet every chance they have, it's misfortune aplenty. A 4th down touchdown at the goal line, not so fast, his knee was down and the ball never crossed the plane. Turnover on downs. Get the ball back quickly and score a TD to make up. There's a catch, the 2-point conversion fails. Dak steps out of bounds before his ball crosses the plane. Jerry's about ready to choke a bitch. Even more so as the Cowboys have another chance to secure a lead, only for the Eagles' vaunted front 7 to wreck every laid plan in sight. Efforts made to overcome a 4th and long, but no dice. Turnover to Philly. However, the Eagles can't truly seal the deal. But with Cowboys' ball near their 10, it's not quite over. Philly then decides it's a good time to self-destruct with brutal penalties, both real and potentially bullshit. 3 major ones gifting Dallas the ball near the goal line and certain victory. And then they just started sweating bullets. Precious seconds vanishing into air. And only one more chance to steal the prize.
Prescott dancing around, just gonna throw in the end zone. His catch is made by Lamb, but he's short! The Eagles will win it!
Somewhere in Tennessee, a Titans fan is getting flashbacks. Coming up a few yards short as Cowboys fans endlessly complain about the officiating. Literal inches being the difference. Regardless, it was a great game with 2 teams that deserve kudos for such an effort. But Philly never ever do that shit again, you hear me? You might not be as lucky next time. This is a makeup match nearly 10 months in the making. Not only with DeMar Hamlin's return as an inactive player tonight, but the divisional matchup where Buffalo just looked lost and outmatched. In the grudge match, Buffalo looked just as lost and outmatched as last time. What do you say about a team that has tried everything to get over the hump but continually runs into potholes? Sometimes the same ones as before. Yes, a lot of it has to do with injuries, but it just feels like things have gotten stale. The Bengals are looking like a different class of team, simply besting them in most facets. If you're the Bills, it's panicking time. Especially with that schedule coming up. With how Cincy just toyed with them most of the game. It's been almost half a decade and the offensive game plan is still solely Josh Allen. They've never evolved. And unless he turns into a fire god, the team suffers. He can't do every single damn thing on the team. Trust me, he tried to will them back into the match, but can he play defense? Of course not. Cincinnati bests their nemesis once again. And as they've won their 4th in a row, we can safely say they're back. Mostly coincides with Burrow's health, but still a sight for sore eyes. Now on to the next challenge. Consider this the typical New York Jets scenario. A prime opportunity to gain favor in the AFC East is at their doorstep. All signs point to a game where the Chargers will bend the knee. The good news is that they do. They bend the knee into their spleen. As much as the Jets are a machine, they don't have an O-line and they don't have a quarterback. Against this front five of backups and poorly meshing parts, the Chargers looked more like the defensive juggernaut they pay to have. Zach Wilson died, then sucked ass, then died again. Not to mention New York, for some reason, decided it'd be a great idea to rub their hands in Vaseline before the match. The only jet flying was the lost F-35. And the worst part is the defense did its job, but New York couldn't move a muscle on offense. I can hear the coping now. Just wait until Aaron Rodgers comes back, then we'll be good! Did you forget about how shit the O-line that got him injured is? How fast the Chargers front four ate them alive? Aaron's gonna be congealed to the turf by the end of the first game. The New York Jets screwing the pooch and making Brandon Staley look like a genius. The greatest crime of them all.
Bring out Jennings!
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
The bloodlust of the football gods will never be quenched. Amen.
Here he is pregame. Little wake-up call from the Gatorade bottle.
You don't see many kickers do that. A lot of linemen, a lot of defensive players, not many kickers.